Days from Transforming America. Before we rush for transformation, we should consider George Orwell's observation of history. He says that history consists of a series of swindles in which the masses are first lured into revolt by the promises of utopia, and then when they have done their job, enslaved over again by new monsters. Why should we be cautious about changes? Steve? Consists of a series of swindles in which the masses are first lured into revolt by the promises of utopia. And then when they have done their job, enslaved over again by new monsters.
That'll never get here.
Concerned
That
about
was so far out.
transforming of
Whole
America.
animal farm.
Hey, so what did you do yesterday? Beg your pardon? What did you do yesterday?
I've got a thought about that, John. I'd like to share a little bit with you. I think it's kind of interesting. It's apropos in a way. I just started reading a book. It's called The Road to Serfdom. And when I'm done with it, I'll tell you more about it. The thrust of it kind of goes hand in hand with that, the notion of the evolution of societies. I thought about it a bit. This country is currently the longest running civilization to date. We've done a pretty darn good job with what our forefathers created and what we've carried through over the many years that this country's been chugging along. We're clearly in some flux, some state of flux now. The character of society is changing, and it occurs to me that it's just a natural evolution. It's just going to kind of run the course that it's taking. When people rebel and break away, separate themselves from a society so that they can now rebuild and have a life that they're in control of, there's a lot of carving out a life, creating an existence, building communities, getting to the point where prosperity begins to show itself. At that point, everybody wants to start enjoying the fruits of their labor. The next step is the people who ride on the coattails of the labor that was expended by their earlier generation. And it gets to be like just too big of a machine to operate as it did initially. And the sense is to just roll into this desire to have what we see, those enjoying their fruits. We'll ultimately get there, and we just want that. And that's kind of where we are. We're on that end of the road kind of a thing, where the next step is someone who busts loose and starts over. Will that be on Mars? I don't know.